We formed a weaponization working group, again, to be able to go after a lot of these abuses of power.
America, we just got a smoking gun that proves the deep state corruption goes all the way to the top of the Obama administration. Paul Campo, who served as Obama's deputy chief of the DEA's Office of Financial Operations, the guy literally in charge of stopping money laundering, has been indicted for laundering $750,000 for the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and agreed to launder $12 million more. But here's the most explosive part. This happened while Tulsi Gabbard is now exposing how Obama's director of national intelligence, James Clapper, manufactured fake intelligence about Russia to justify spying on Trump. The same administration that weaponized intelligence against Trump was running the DEA with an official who was secretly working for designated terrorist organizations. This is the deep state that Tulsi is systematically dismantling, and Campo's indictment proves everything we've been saying about Obama-era corruption. What is up, guys? TYSON DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. The deep state isn't a conspiracy theory anymore. It's Obama officials working for cartels while manufacturing fake intelligence to spy on political opponents. Let me bring you guys up to speed what Tulsi Gabbard uncovered about the Obama administration's systematic corruption, because this sets the stage for understanding Campo's indictment.
Yeah, you know, it is a great day and a great victory on the side of the American people and the Constitution, and yet again, shining a light on one of the other forms of weaponization of the government against President Trump and ultimately against the American people. As you pointed out, this lawfare happened throughout the course of his candidacy and running for president.
Tulsi just explained how the Obama administration weaponized the government against Trump throughout his 2024 candidacy, using lawfare to try to take away the American people's right to choose their president. This is the same administration that had Paul Campo running the DEA financial operations.
The deep state, unfortunately, has existed within our government and within the intelligence community for much longer than it precedes President Obama, it precedes Hillary Clinton.
Now, if you're not familiar with it, here is the bombshell. Tulsi reveals that James Clapper, Obama's director of national intelligence, has a history of manufacturing fake intelligence. He was involved in creating the Iraq WMD lies under Bush. Then under Obama, he manufactured the fake Russia intelligence, claiming Putin wanted to help Trump get elected in 2016.
This was politically motivated weaponization, and the fact that James Clapper was President Obama's director of national intelligence at that time. And then you go back, you know, more than 20 years prior to that, when James Clapper himself wrote in his book that his fingerprints were all over that fake Iraq WMD intelligence assessment.
Then under Obama, he did the exact same thing with the Russia hoax, creating intelligence that didn't exist to justify spying on Trump. Now, let me tell you about Paul Campo, because his career trajectory shows how the deep state actors rise through the ranks while secretly working against American interest. Campo spent 25 years as a DEA special agent, raising to become deputy chief of the Office of Financial Operations in February 2013. Right in the middle of Obama's second term. In this role, he oversaw more than $17 million in DEA funding and was responsible for worldwide money laundering operations. Think about the irony here. The guy in charge of stopping money laundering was secretly planning to launder millions and millions of dollars to terrorist cartels. He represented the DEA before Congress, the banking industry, money service businesses, and the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and the U.S. Treasury. He had access to the most sensitive financial intelligence in government. Campo retired from the DEA in 2016 and immediately funded Global Financial Consultants, which provided quote-unquote in-depth financial consulting services to financial institutions. He even maintained his security clearance after leaving government service. According to the indictment, starting in December 2024, just about a year ago, Campo and his associate Robert Sensi began meeting with confidential informants who was posing as a member of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel while working with law enforcement. Let me break down exactly what Campo was caught doing because the details of this indictment are absolutely damning here. During meetings with the undercover informant, Campo and Sensi discussed money laundering, drug trafficking, drug manufacturing, and providing firearms and explosives devices to the CJNG, a cartel that the U.S. Department of State has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Sensi told the informant that Campo has been in charge of the DEA's financial operations and had connections within the agency, including its top leadership. He claimed Campo could launder narcotics proceeds and provide sensitive DEA information about sources and ongoing investigation. Campo and Sensi agreed to launder money for the cartel by converting cash into cryptocurrency and investing it into real estate. They also agreed to explore procuring chemical drones and military-grade weapons, including AR-15s, semi-automatic rifles, M4 carbines, M16 rifles, grenade launchers, and rocket-propelled grenades. But here's what they actually did. Campo laundered approximately $750,000 for the cartel by converting cash into cryptocurrency. The cartel also paid for about 220 kilograms of cocaine, which Campo understood had been delivered to the United States for distribution. And Mr. Campo had agreed to launder up to $12 million in total. He was just getting started when federal agents arrested him. Now let me show you how Tulsi Gabbard is systematically rooting out these deep state actors and demanding accountability.
You came in with a very clear mandate of taking on the rampant weaponization, politicization of the intelligence community and federal law enforcement, experiencing yourself, the deep state abusing their power as they have against you, your family, and so many of the American people.
She declassified over 500,000 documents that had never been seen by the American people. And she formed a weaponization working group to support the accountability that's coming under Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Yes, without a doubt. There are so many areas that we have just started to shine a light on in places that have never seen the light.
Tulsi promises there's much more declassification coming. The American people deserve to know the truth, and that transparency is what leads to actual accountability and real change.
The criminal referral that I made to the Department of Justice around President Obama's directed intelligence assessment that, as we said before, created something that was not there. This was the foundation of the Russia hoax, and it really was the document, again, ordered by President Obama, carried out willingly and excitedly by John Brennan and James Clapper and others.
We're talking about the investigations, the impeachment, the surveillance, and the harassment. Now, let me connect all these dots because Campo's indictment is just one piece of a much larger pattern of the Obama-era corruption. You have James Clapper manufacturing fake intelligence about Russia to justify spying on Trump. You have John Brennan eagerly participating in this scheme, and you have entire intelligence communities weaponized against a political opponent. At the same time, you have Paul Campo, Obama's deputy chief of DEA financial operations, secretly planning to work for a terrorist cartel while having access to the most sensitive financial intelligence in the government.
Secondly, bring about reforms to the intelligence community to make sure that we have the most effective and efficient and focused workforce that's really working on bringing about the priorities you have laid out in ensuring our country's security.
Tulsi is now focused on domestic threats from both Islamic terrorists and foreign terrorist organizations, many of whom were led across the borders under the Biden administration. The CJNG that Campo was working with is exactly the kind of terrorist organization that's been exploiting our open borders.
Well, Larry, I'm not at all naive to, again, what we just talked about, how deeply entrenched the deep state actors are. And when we talk about the deep state actors, it's a term that's commonly used. Maybe folks don't always know who or what we're referring to. What I'm referring to are those who sit within our government, yes, within the intelligence community, but I can tell you as I speak to my colleagues in the Department of Justice and the FBI and these other agencies, there are deep state actors across the federal government, and they are people who, like Vindman, for example, who believe that their actions, their views are more important than those of elected leaders, duly elected by the American people, like the President of the United States.
Now, let me tell you about the charges Campo is facing, because this shows the severity of his absolute betrayal. Campo and Sensi were charged with conspiracy to commit narco-terrorism, conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute controlled substances, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and conspiracy to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization. They will appear before a judge in New York who ordered them detained without bail. Both pled not guilty, but the evidence against them is incredibly overwhelming. They were caught in a sting operation with recordings of their meetings and documentations of the money that they laundered. The DEA Administrator Terrence C. Cole said the indictment of former Special Agent Paul Campo sends a powerful message. Those who betray the public trust, past or present, will be held to account the fullest extent of the law. But here's what the DEA administration isn't saying. Campo's 25-year-long career gave him knowledge, connections, and the credibility to offer valuable services to the cartel. His corruption didn't start when he retired. It was enabled by the position within the Obama administration's DEA. America, Paul Campo's indictment proves everything we've been saying about the Obama-era deep state corruption. While James Clapper was manufacturing fake intelligence about Russia to spy on Trump, Campo was rising through the DEA ranks to become deputy chief of financial operations, the perfect position to later help cartels launder money. This is the deep state that Tulsi Gabbard is systematically dismantling. Campo's case shows how deep state actors operate. They spend decades building credibility and connections within government, then use that position to betray American interests. He had access to the most sensitive financial intelligence, represented the DEA before Congress, and maintained security clearance even after retirement. The fact that he was caught trying to launder millions of dollars for a terrorist cartel while Tulsi is exposing Obama's fake intelligence operations is not a coincidence. It's all part of the same corrupt system that weaponized government against the American people. Tulsi has promised more declassification is coming, more accountability is coming, and more deep state actors will be exposed. Campo is just the beginning. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.